Welcome back to Hardly Minding My Business. I'm your girl Dash, and we're here. We're back at it for a third week in a row. Check me out. Anyway, let's get right to it because I just, it's Friday and I should have recorded this yesterday and this has to go out tonight. So I feel like I should just get into it. I mean, I do want to say, being off of work for two months and then going back, the ghetto. I don't recommend it at all. Don't go back. Don't go back. Just trying to be a stay-at-home wife, girlfriend, whatever. Anyway, we have some things to talk about today. I feel like I should have a petty right now, but I don't. There was something, but I have looked everywhere that I write things down, and it is nowhere. So it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned at this point. It just doesn't. If I didn't write it down, it didn't happen. So I'm going to just get into what we need to talk about. I have a lot of random things today. I mean, it's always a lot of random things, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to start with, let's start with And Just Like That. It was announced today that And Just Like That, which is the sequel, I guess, the sequel series to Sex and the City, has been canceled after 3 seasons. This was the right thing to do. This was absolutely the right thing to do. The story has taken such a strange turn. It's really confusing too. Some of the things that the characters are doing, it just doesn't make sense. The show Sex and the City began, I believe, in 98, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been many years building up stories for these characters. Carrie has reverted back to old ways. She's desperately trying to be good to Aiden, who has come back into her life, and he seems to still be punishing her for what she did in the past. Which, it's like, why are you here then? You would just not be here. Did you come here to torture me, or did you come here to put me in a position where I'm like forced to do whatever it is you say? And no, actually, I'm not forced to do whatever it is you say. It's a weird dynamic. He's barely there, and when he's there, he's kind of a nuisance. And he kind of just does nonsensical things. I realize that they're getting to the point at this point in the season where they're trying to resolve that, and I understand that. So don't think that I have not seen the most recent episodes. I have. I just feel like this whole Aiden storyline didn't need to happen in the first place. But here we are. We're at the point where Patrick Star and, am I saying his name right? Darren Star? Darren Star. I feel like it's Darren and not Patrick. Anyway, him and Carrie Bradshaw apparently have known for a while that they are not going to bring the show back for a 4th season, which I think is a fantastic choice. It needed to happen. They basically said they waited until almost the end of the season to tell us because they wanted people to enjoy the season up to now. No one was enjoying it. People were hate watching it, in fact. And because a lot of it doesn't make any sense. Miranda went from being this very level-headed character who, yeah, she didn't always have the best relationships, or, everybody goes through their things, but she was a fairly level-headed person. She now makes strange decisions that just don't seem in her character. Carrie is just, I don't know. Carrie was in a good place between the marriage, and then obviously that did not work out because of, the losing her husband, but then just like buying her her home and just, like trying to build a home and all of that, and the cat and all. I don't know what they thought they were doing with Carrie's character. I just feel like they threw Aiden into the mix, and then his whole story is just a hot mess, and it just keeps getting messier every week. I just don't. Girl, I don't know. But it's over. It's over. And again, they're saying they waited to say something because they wanted to make sure that, they ended the season on a high note with people being excited about where the season was. I honestly don't. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because this wasn't going well, and at some point they must have realized that this wasn't going well. So they're actually extending the season, and there's going to be 12 episodes. There's a 2-part series finale that's happening. And it's fine. I was talking about Michael Patrick King. He is the showrunner of And Just Like That. He put out a statement saying, "And just like that, the ongoing storytelling of the Sex and the City universe is coming to an end. While I was writing the last episode of And Just Like That, season 3, it became clear to me that this might be a wonderful place to stop. Along with Sarah Jessica Parker, Casey Bloys, and Sarah Aubrey, we decided to end the popular series this year with a 2-part finale and extended the original series order from 10 episodes to 12. SJP and I held off announcing the news until now because we didn't want the word final to overshadow the fun of watching the season. It's with great gratitude we thank all the viewers who have let these characters into their homes and their hearts over these many years." The show wasn't good. I don't know who was enjoying this season. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. Seema, who is vivacious and sexy and independent, where's Seema's money? What happened here? There's just so many inconsistencies, so many. Nicole Ari Parker's character, her father passed away again. Did they not realize that they already told us her father was dead? There's so many things wrong with the show. Anyway, I sound like I'm complaining because I am because I really wanted it to be good. It was excited when it was coming out a few years ago, and now it's just like, what is this? Why did you do this? You kind of ruined these characters, and then the new characters that you brought in, you either didn't do enough with them or you started to do weird things that don't seem to make sense. It doesn't have to please the audience in the sense that everybody gets a happy ending or everybody's life is just so delightful and wonderful. That's not real life, but some of it just doesn't seem to add up. We are still watching a television show. It's got to make sense to us. So I don't know, but I think this is a good move. I think they need to end this. I fear they may have needed to end this at the end of season 2, but this is fine. I'll watch it to the end because I've already gotten this far, but I really don't care for that. I've also been watching Gilded Age. I want to talk about Gilded Age, but I feel like I need to catch up on a few episodes before I talk about that. But that's something I've been watching. I realized that this episode is a little backwards because normally I do what I'm watching last. I'm a little all over the place right now. Anyway, that's And Just Like That. I don't really know what else to say about that because what are we supposed to say? On that note, I want to talk about Justin Timberlake. Now, here's the thing. I had every intention of coming on this show today and talking about Justin Timberlake in a very different way. And maybe not the way you think. So, Justin Timberlake has announced that he has Lyme disease. He has also noted that having Lyme disease has been debilitating both mentally and physically for him. Now, prior to finding out Justin Timberlake had Lyme disease, he was on the list of topics for this week because I had things to say. I had seen a clip of him performing recently, last week or something. I saw a clip of him performing and I thought to myself, that's not a good performance. And I had thoughts about that, and I was fully ready to come on here and, say some things and get some jokes off. And then he made this announcement, and now I'm like, I don't think I can say those things. I don't think in good faith I could say those things. But what I will say is, no, I can't say that. What I will say is, I get it now. Maybe this is an explanation for what I saw the other day. Maybe this is why some of the performances have been a bit lackluster. He's looked a little stiff in performing. Maybe this is why. Totally understandable. I wish him well. I'm sorry I can't get my jokes off, to be honest. But I wish him well. And I know that that's something that is not easy to deal with. And I don't wish it on anybody. And I really hope that, he finds peace and that he maintains his health dealing with something like Lyme disease. So that is all I will say. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I apologize. There were other things that I was going to say about this, but I just don't feel right going down that road. But just know I did have thoughts. And, maybe someday, if it ever is more appropriate, we can have that conversation about Justin Timberlake, and I can share my hot take because I had a hot take. But yeah, this kind of explains some things that I've had questions about. You know what I also have questions about, or had questions about, but maybe there's no question anymore? Ray J. Ray J did Cam Newton's show, and they had some interesting conversations, one of which was Ray J saying that he's no longer a brother. If you've been living under a rock, Ray J and Brandy are brother and sister. It's just the two of them, as far as we know. Ray J said it multiple times. He's no longer a brother. He said he loves his sister. He's just no longer a brother. This is not the first time he has either said or alluded to the fact that him and Brandy don't have a good relationship anymore. I have romanticized this distance between the two of them. And when I say I romanticized it, in my mind, I know what happened. I have no idea what happened. But in my mind, I know and understand what happened. Ray J moves a little shifty. He just does. Ray J makes some questionable choices. Ray J says a lot, says things that he probably shouldn't say publicly. Ray J does things that he probably shouldn't do publicly. I think it got to a point in their relationship where Brandy had to say, listen, I love you, you're my brother, but I am a huge star. You are a star in your own right. I can't be involved with any of this nonsense. And I think Ray J continued with his nonsense. And eventually Brandy was like, there are still things I want to do in my career. And I can't do those things if I'm messing around with you, messing around with nonsense. In my head, that is how this went. It is not that Brandy doesn't love her brother or doesn't want to be around him. I think it's just that it don't align with the things Brandy got going on. And sometimes you got to distance yourself. Most recently, maybe not most recently, but very recently, Ray J came out and in full support of Diddy and everything he had going on. This is before the verdict. In full support of everything he had going on, and was like, y'all are tripping. It ain't even like that. It's not that deep. There have also been rumors about how Ray J is connected to Diddy and how he's involved with Diddy and what their relationship is like. I'm not gonna go down that road here, but you got to be careful when you out there in the streets caping for other people and saying they've done nothing wrong. You have to be careful because people will make you draw a line in the sand, and sometimes you need to. Sometimes you should. Sometimes that is exactly the thing that you should be doing. So, listen, I don't know what really happened between Brandy and Ray J. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe one day they'll tell us a little bit more of the information. Ray J did not, as far as I know, did not actually disclose what went on between the two of them. There were no specifics. It was just like, I'm not a brother anymore. I'm here, but I'm not a brother anymore, and I love my sister. I'm going to leave family business to the family, but if y'all ever want to share it, if y'all ever want to spill the tea, I'm right here. Okay? Let's do it. Please, let's do it. I don't know. And Brandy's about to go on tour. Brandy don't got no time for mess. Okay? The Boy Is Mine tour with Monica, that's about to be lit. Okay? She don't got time for that. She don't have time for that. You know who else didn't have time? This lady. This lady in the UK. She's been with her man for 7 years. He's proposed to her 43 times. And on the 43rd time, she decided to say yes. How many men y'all know is proposing 43 times in 7 years? Apparently, the first time he proposed to her was 6 months into the relationship. And she was like, sir, I don't think so. We just met. Rightfully so. Apparently, she has children and she was concerned about, how the longevity of the relationship and also having children and, involving them in that sort of mess. I understand why she turned him down the first time. I don't understand why it took another 42 times for her to say yes. And apparently it wasn't just like we laying in bed and, hey, you want to marry me? He was going all out and doing these extravagant proposals to try to win her over. What is it? Demetria L. Lucas, she says this often, and there's been many different iterations of this from different people, but she always says interested men act interested, and this man would not go. This man was persistent. Now I have heard that persistence can be a bad thing depending on who you're talking about. So I understand if I would have understood if she was like, you know what, I'm not with this. Please stop proposing to me because I'm never going to say yes. Or I don't want this. She continued to be with that man. He continued to be with her. I also don't know a lot of men who would propose that many times and stick around. I feel like you got a couple good times with most men, and then they'd be like, I'm leaving. And truthfully, I don't blame them. Like, how many times do you have to propose to somebody for them to say yes? What are the circumstances that would require you to propose that many times and get rejected that many times? Why are we together if we're not on the same page about that? There's things that you might not be on the same page about, that you can kind of find some middle ground or you can find compromise. But then there's those other things that just can't be compromised. So the foundational things, like, are we getting married or not? Do you want to? Do I want to? We got to align on those things. Listen, I don't know. I thought this was very strange. They seem tickled by it. They're married now, by the way. They got married, I believe, in May of this year. Again, after he proposed. Extravagant proposal. Beautiful proposal. I can't remember the exact story right now, but look it up. It's not hard to find. Just type in a Google search, man proposes 43 times, and you'll find it. But she said yes. Oh, he basically took her to the center of the he took her to Greenwich, where basically Greenwich Mean Time gets established. It's like the center of the world. And he said, "You're the center of my world. We're in the center of the world, and you're the center of my world. So will you marry me?" And she was like, "Yeah. You just swept me off my feet." And said he needs to go in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm like, girl, please, please leave that man alone. I mean, they want to be together. They're happy. They're in love. Good for them. Good for them. Listen, if it works for you, it works for you. I don't know. I don't see how that works, but to each his own. I don't know. I don't know. I will mention though that I've been watching Tell Me Lies, or I did watch Tell Me Lies season 1, season 2 on Hulu. Y'all should watch that. You want to watch a story about a narcissist? You want to watch a story about a sociopath? Psychopath? Watch Tell Me Lies. It's not scary or anything. It's not a thriller. It's just a drama about really terrible people. Really terrible people. Apparently there's a season 3 coming. I think it's coming in 2026. I can't wait because I was fascinated by this show. Just completely fascinated by it. So check it out. If you like a good drama, you'll find it interesting. It's also in the style of, it's kind of in the style of This Is Us, the way you kind of start in the future, but you're also in the past. And then somewhere in between the present happens. It's like that. That part is well done. I was really nervous about that. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go, but that part is well done. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because I had another topic that I cannot remember. Also, I didn't have a petty or not. I'm not together today, but I'm here. Okay, I still showed up. That is the goal, to show up. I'm not always going to be at my best, but I'm gonna show up. So here we go. Anyway, Scottie Pippen posted, "I miss when AI stood for Allen Iverson and the BBL stood for Be Back Later." And well, listen, Scottie said it. Okay, sometimes we just need simplicity. Sometimes we just need that old thing back. Sometimes we just need things to be simple. Easier times. Okay, I miss it too, Scottie. I do. But thank you for that. I appreciate you. And on that note, I'll see y'all next week.